This is Privacy by Charles Surface. Privacy. Do we have any? You are being watched when you walk into work. You are being watched when you walk out of work to make sure that you're not taking anything away from the organization. When you go to school, you are being recorded when you walk down the hallways, when you walk outside and get in your vehicle, when a person goes to the grocery store. They are being recorded from the time they get out of their car and walk in the store to all the shopping they do inside the store. When you're driving down the road, you are being recorded to make sure that you obey the laws. When you walk in a restaurant to eat, you are being recorded. You're not safe from any camera anywhere. The National Security Agency, also known as the NSA. It is located in Maryland. Their facility is known as the building. This is where they store the data that they get from everyone. They record every phone conversation that you have, no matter who it's with, where it's at. It's recorded and stored here. They record everyone's video calls. They also monitor everyone's computer. They monitor every keystroke you make to every website that you visit. All this is stored in case they ever have to reference it. In Europe, the Court of Justice is the highest court in Europe. They done a long investigation with storing data. After their long investigation, they decided that storing data on individuals was illegal and it should not be allowed in Europe. After their investigation, they sent a letter to the White House informing them of all the information they had learned from doing their investigation. In the United States, the Supreme Court looked at storing data. The Supreme Court decided that they should not even get involved with it. They should let the NSA record and store all the data that they may need. When a person goes for a job interview, the interviewer may ask you for your personal password to your email or a social network site. If you refuse to give it to them, you may not get the job. In schools, they are also allowed to ask you for your email password and your social password. Some states have looked into it and decided that employers asking for your password should be illegal. California, Illinois, and Michigan. Michigan also decided it was illegal for schools to ask people for their passwords to social media and their email address. Although these laws were passed in these three states, an employer can still get on a person's social site and they can be fired for posting inappropriate things. When you are at work, make sure that what you are looking at on the internet is appropriate. At any time, your employer can look at every website you have visited and what you have looked at. This can also cause a person to get fired for visiting the wrong sites. Should employees be allowed to visit social media sites? Some people could argue that Facebook or MySpace, they could strum up business from getting on these sites. From the company side of it, if you get on there and post inappropriate things, that can reflect back to the business and could even hurt sales for the business. I have included an Excel spreadsheet of people that were fired or laid off in 2013. If you will look around January, there was 1.5 million people laid off or fired. 106,000 was fired for social media sites. When I started doing some investigating on these numbers, some of these numbers really stuck out there. There was 19.5 million total people laid off or fired in 2013. Make sure that if you post anything on any social website, that you take into effect anyone and everyone can read it. A rule of thumb would be, if it's on the front page of the news, would you be okay with it? Would it be ethical? If it is, then post it. You should not post on any media site if you're having a bad day or just in a bad mood. When you're on a social media site and posting things, make sure they're appropriate. Do not post pictures of you doing inappropriate things. Do not post bad things about the company or your boss. Or you could be this girl carrying out her box from where she's cleaned out her desk at work. While at work, think about the phone calls you are making. Make sure if it's a personal phone call, you keep it short and sweet. Employers can monitor who you are calling. They can also monitor how many times you make a phone call to a certain number. They can also monitor how long you talk on the phone. Another thing, if you are issued a company cell phone, that means you are giving, or it is the employer's product. So they have the right at any time to look at the records to see who you have texted, what you have texted, who you have talked to, how long you've talked to them. So make sure you remember that it is a company phone. It belongs to the company, and the company has all rights to access every record for that phone. The company you work for owns the building, and the company also owns everything in the building, which means that is their property. They own your desk, they own the company cell phone, they own your computer. So if they have to go in your desk, or they want to look in your desk because something is missing, they have the right to do that because it's their property. On your computer, they have a right to look in it because the computer belongs to them. It's company property. And also with the company cell phone, they have that right to look at your phone records. So remember, everything you do inside the organization that you work, they have a right to look in it. Everything you do at work is recorded, video, audio, so be careful what you say and what you do. Because in this time and age, we have no privacy.